UNESCO is an international organization, part of the United Nations, which is in part challenged with conservation, choosing and conserving some of the world's best heritage sites. There are a number of examples. We could talk about Great Wall of China or the pyramids in Egypt. I like to choose more Native American examples. So some close to home certainly would be the Blackfoot traditional bison jump region in southwestern Alberta, known as Head Smashed In. This is detailed, it's rigorous. It boils down to, for me, something known as outstanding universal value, the OUV. You have to demonstrate that your site is the best example of that in the world. There's nothing else like it.
I joined Wanuskewin about 5 years ago to work on the Thundering Ahead Capital campaign, which became a graduate studies program with Dr. Ernie Walker at the University of Saskatchewan, looking at how Wanuskewin is of outstanding value to all of humanity as part of the justification of the UNESCO World Heritage process. The archaeological record at this site demonstrates that there's occupation from every single cultural group indigenous to the Northern Plains region at some point in time.
This is, in our view, the best example of pre-contact occupation of the Northern Plains in the last 6,000 years.
You know, it has a sense and a spirit that when you come to Wanuskewin and you walk our lands, that it brings you back in time. My ancestors were on this land, and if you talk to any of the other Indigenous people, lots of their ancestors were on this land, on this site, and that's what makes it special.
It's a difficult one because the plains are really subtle. A lot of people, and we certainly heard that back in the early years, there's nothing there. Draw a line through the middle of the page, it's blue on the top and it's green on the bottom, and that's pretty much it. So it is a harder sell, I guess. You have to be more rigorous, more diligent in promoting something that is in fact from the Great Plains. Well, the process to achieve the UNESCO designation is not an easy one. It's expensive, it's detailed, you have to make your case. The whole world is watching. That's basically what it comes down to.
So we set out on the Thundering Ahead capital campaign to raise money to bring bison back to the land, to renovate and expand the Interpretive Centre at Wanuskewin, and to help start this process of World Heritage designation.
We have done a lot of this work ourselves. Remember, archaeological excavations have been ongoing here for 40 years. So we've done the research. Most of these kinds of projects, once they decide to go forward, have to start doing research. We have a ton of research behind us.
We came up with the idea that we could undertake an interdisciplinary thesis that would look at how Wanuskewin meets the criteria of the World Heritage process and look at it through the different lenses of archaeology, history, environment, Indigenous oral history. What's really great about it is I think it's rare that a thesis has a practical application. So often graduate students put all of this effort into something that sits on a shelf. And in this case, we'll be translating it from an academic document into something that has use and has value and that ultimately belongs to Wanuskewin.
Wanuskewin as a site is sacred, and there's many ways that people will interpret the word sacred, but from a very simple perspective in that this was the gathering place for thousands and thousands of years of people who have lived on this land for time immemorial. The vision for Wanuskewin is that the world knows us as a destination of great value because we tell true, authentic stories. We immerse people in our experiences and ultimately transform their lives because we're showing them something different.
We realize that as employees that we're stewards of this land. And for me, being able to come to a work site and a organization where that's encouraged is it's empowering and it's spiritually uplifting.
One of the things that we know about World Heritage sites is that often they include or contain a spirit or sense of place that is intangible and absolute all at once. And Wanuskewin is exactly that.
Wanuskewin is a bit of a beacon. This is a project where our two communities, First Nations and non-First Nations, have come together and done what some people would have said is not possible. The fact that we've been able to sustain this effort over such a long period of time. Make no mistake, this is an epic Canadian story, how this came to be.
There are people now who want to come and experience this, and now having the bison being brought back to the park, there's an added interest for people. So many people are driven to experience the Indigenous culture for themselves and not just watch it. When people come here, they want to be immersed in it, and that's truly the transformation that people will experience when they come to Wanuskewin Heritage Park. You literally are getting your hands involved and you're standing up with the dancers and learning how to dance, or learning and smelling the forest and understanding the medicinal plants and herbs. And so for so many people, this will be a transformational experience that changes them forever.
With our incredible capital campaign expansion, people have an opportunity to visit a brand new park, one that they've never seen before, and one that's got so many different attractions for the family, for the senior, for the youth, that really Wanuskewin is a park for all.
A lot of people in the early days didn't think it was really worthwhile. So all these decades have passed. We've done fundraising. The community's kept their foot on the gas on this. We didn't go away. It has been sustained. So designation, for me, is the affirmation that all of the people that worked on this project, from here and far, it's been worth it.
So Saskatchewan doesn't currently have any World Heritage sites, and Wanuskewin aims to be Saskatchewan's first. So it's really important for us to recognize that there's history here, and there's a history that is worth protecting, and there's a history that's worth celebrating.
If you have program ideas that you'd like to see on maxTV Local On Demand, write us at max.local@sasktel.com.